I don't know if you guys know this or not, but coming a little closer. Just bring yourself a little bit closer to the screen. Let me whisper it in your ear. Tubi has audio description. That's right. That's why I reviewed this. In case you're wondering why all of a sudden I just dropped in and was like, you know what? Minari. I'm gonna review Minari. It's cause it's on Tubi, and Tubi has some audio description now. And that's why I wanted to make this video, is to officially welcome Tubi to the world of audio description. So, let's get to Minariing. That's not a word. Minariizing. I don't know. I don't know how to make this word into a thing, but we're going to talk about audio description on Tubi for the film Minari. Best Picture nominee, also the winner for Best Supporting Actress, and also got my boy Glenn the nomination for Best Actor. He will always be Glenn. I'm sorry. He will be. Anyway, it's an A24 film, in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's a few years back, but it's within my time of blindness. And guess what? The film is spoken almost entirely in in Korean. So I was not able to watch this the first time it came around. I swear it was on like Hulu or something, and I was like, I can't watch. No, I'm sorry, I can't do this, because I can either maybe watch it dubbed with no audio description, which is annoying because then I don't know what's going on. But at the time, I remember it came around once and I saw it somewhere and it didn't have audio description, and I was like, fuck it, whatever. So I didn't watch it. But now it's out there and it's got it, and that was a good film. I don't know, it's like my favorite film ever. Definitely benefited. It was one of those films that came out of 2020 pandemic and benefited from the lack of competition. Like the competition was just lower. So, I don't know if this film, I think it's really interesting that this film got a Best Picture nomination. I think it's, I'm kind of happy with it. It's kind of a quiet film. It's very simple. It's just a Korean family moves to a small farm in Arkansas, in Northwest Arkansas, by the way, and they live life, and it's about their family struggles and their strife, and the father and mother are kind of both at each other's throats way too often, and the little kid their son is having, is kind of watching this and going through this, and dad wants to become a major farmer. He thinks that this is good land, and he wants to be able to plant, 50 acres and grow Korean food. He thinks, he's done the math, and he's like, 30,000 Koreans come to this country every year. Don't you think they want to buy Korean vegetables? So he's trying to grow stuff on his property for the ever-growing Korean community. And it's so weird because I actually used to live in Southwest Missouri, which is right above where he is. I didn't catch the actual town that they say Minari is taking place in, but I did catch the reference to Rogers, Arkansas. I know where that is. So I've been there, done that, and so I kind of get it. I don't remember there being like a massive Korean population in that area. I was just over the line. So maybe there is. I don't know. Maybe there is. There's a they're talking about Rogers, and the wife is on this farm and she hates it, and she's like, we could just move like it's just a little ways and we can live in this place, and there's they're like schools, and there's like a mall and stuff, and I was like, I guess that's Rogers. Could also be Fayetteville, but depending on which direction they want to have people move, which direction she wants to move. But Rogers is a decent sized town. It would have everything that she says that they have. So I guess Rogers is their closest major city, and they just live out in sticks. So it's just one of those family dramas. Eventually, the grandmother comes to live with them, and you know, mainly to watch the kids, so that they can go out, so the parents can go out. They sex chickens. That's what they do. They take little baby chicks and they sex them. They determine whether or not they're male or female. And for anybody who doesn't know what happens, let's just say it doesn't work out well for the males. However, I do believe that a lot of times, at least from what I've heard, the males work out a little bit. It works out. Sometimes I've seen, I think it was Food Inc. that showed them just kind of immediately discarding male baby chicks. So it's so disturbing that we do this. Like, we have no use for male chicks, so we just throw them away immediately. I swear we figured out, I think they become dog food. I think that's what is in dog food, are the male chicks as male. When you look at what chicken byproduct is, there you go. That's your nightmare. Once you find out what chicken byproduct is, that's why everybody's trying to buy their dog's natural food, is because they're like, oh my God, I'm not feeding that to my dog anymore. So, anyway, that was a tangent. But yeah, there are a lot of chicken farms in this area. I already knew that. That is true. They didn't make that up for the sake of the film. Yes, this is the home of chicken plants. There are a lot of them. I used to live and be able to, every once in a while you catch the smell of them because they smell terrible. And depending on the way the wind blows, every once in a while you get this whiff of, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that smell? So it's a good film. I like it. I really want to talk about my experience though with Tubi and audio description, because this is really important. I don't want to lead with it because I figured everybody would leave. So don't leave. So Tubi did something really fun. We had fun. Tubi and I had fun. For my first experience with audio description, God damn it, Tubi. I really wanted to come in here and be like, Tubi's great. Tubi's amazing. It's super easy to use audio description. Use my Eric Cartman voice. But I can't, because Tubi, I thought it was weird at first how, like, I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't know how far I am in the movie. It put me in. It put me into the film. It put me into the film right at the place where they're like looking at the mobile home, and she's like, this is not what you promised, you know? And I was like, this feels like the beginning of the film. I don't know how much before this was. I was expecting like the A24 logo. I was expecting, I was expecting some sort of, I was like, maybe it just jumped like a minute. Maybe I'm like a minute into the film. It kind of felt like it was at the beginning of the film anyway. So that's kind of where it started for me. And I was like watching the film. I was like, okay, well, we're going through this, blah, blah, blah. And the whole thing about the dirt. And then I learned about them sexting chickens. And then it made a little ways into the film. I think it made it all the way to the bank sequence where he goes to the bank and the guy's like, yeah, it's great that, most people wouldn't touch that land. It's great that you're gonna go in there and try to build a farm on it. It's that whole thing. And then came the Tubi commercials, which are unavoidable. I understand, it's a free streaming service. I knew that was gonna happen. It's just like with Freebie. What I did not expect was what happened after the commercials. When Tubi decided to fuck me. And it restarted the fucking movie. I watched the beginning of the film, and that time when it restarted the film, it actually did start it from A24. So I watched A24, I watched a little bit that I missed, which really wasn't that much. It was only like, I missed like 3 minutes of the film. And then I had to rewatch the entire sequence that I just watched. And then, of course, my fear is, oh my God, what if I'm trapped in a loop? What if I never get past this? What if I hit the next commercial? And I just keep watching the beginning of Minari over and over and over and over and over. So, no, luckily I hit the commercial break and then finally played the rest of the film. So that's my experience is, I don't know what happened at the beginning. I don't know why it just kind of like picked a section of Minari for me to watch. And then like the commercials came in and then it like reset Minari. As if I hadn't been watching Minari. As if it was like, oh, we're going to start it at the beginning. Like, what is the algorithm? What coding was happening there? It's such a weird thing. I don't watch enough things on Tubi. I don't know if this is like, you know, those who watch Tubi are gonna be like, yeah, this happens all the time. Tubi's on crack, man. They got that heavy crack pipe back there, just going all the time. Sometimes starts at the end of the film, works its way to the beginning. It's very trippy. I don't know, but that was my experience with Tubi. Was, let's watch about like the first 15 minutes and then let's watch it again. Just for those who weren't paying attention. Cool. So my run of Minari was a little bit longer than everybody else's. Not tremendously, but a little bit longer. I spent a little bit longer in Minari than maybe everybody else did, but now I've seen it. And yeah, I took a break. This is not a 40 for 40. I'm not, it's not a new film, but it is new. Tubi just started audio description in June. They have, I don't know, it's like almost 40 titles available. A lot of them are Tubi originals. So if you're trying to wade through crap to try to find things like Minari, there are less of those, but there are some. I mean, Pineapple Express right now has audio description. You know, there are a few more films on there that I think are recognizable that have audio description. So check it out. They're doing it the same way where it's a genre. So if you can find the genres, then you can find audio description. I did watch this on my phone on iOS because I wanted to make sure that it worked. I'm going to try to also watch one on my Roku because it's kind of new and there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of people who have confirmed that it works on every single device and every single system. But I used one that somebody had already confirmed and been like, it does work this way. And yes, it sort of does, I guess, if you like watching the first part of the film twice. I don't know if that's going to be a recurring thing, but that's my first experience with Tubi. And sometimes that first experience is all you get. This is why critics and reviews are oddly important. Sometimes it seems weird. Like you look on something like Yelp and somebody's giving you like this negative review, but if that's their first time at the restaurant and that's the experience they had, then that's all they're ever going to think of you. Maybe you guys were just having a bad day. Maybe there was an employee in the back it was his first day and he didn't know what he was doing. You know, but I mean, there are other factors to take into account. It doesn't always mean the customer's just blasting the place for no particular reason whatsoever. My film legitimately played the first 15 minutes of the film like twice. So that's just what it is. So if somebody was, you know, asking me to then grade and be like, oh, well, rate your experience with Tubi's audio description on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd be like, not counting the quality of the film that I watched, I can't actually, in good conscience, give it a 10. Because while I appreciate the fact that there is audio description, that's a pretty big glitch. That's a pretty decent sized glitch. But it's not the worst glitch. There have been worse experiences. So, worth noting. I've noted it. It's out there in the universe. Hopefully it won't happen to you. Hopefully I'm just the only one that this ever happens to, and I'm the Tubi anomaly. Tube anomaly. Yeah, we'll portmanteau that word. So Minari. Now I got to come back around to grade Minari. I have to talk about the audio description for. Okay, the audio description for Minari is necessary if you don't speak Korean anyway, because you have to have the dubbing, but you also we also have to know what they're doing. You know, they're out on a farm. It's quiet. There are some scenes where they're doing things like sexing chickens, and he's playing with the dirt, and the boy hurts himself at one point in the film, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And also, I need to give a shout out to Will Patton. I'm just going to give a shout out to Will Patton in everything I possibly ever can, because I think he's such an underrated actor, and I would love to see him get an Oscar nomination. I know that that's not the point of Minari, is for Will Patton to be the one that gets the Oscar nomination, but in the supporting actor category, he has no competition. They were never going to give it to that child. So he could have easily come along with the film, and it would have been fine. But there isn't like an adult aged male, Korean male, who would have made sense to be nominated necessarily over Will Patton in terms of the story. So Will Patton pops up, and he's been bringing such really interesting characters to a lot of TV shows he's been doing recently, and I love the work he's been putting out, and I think he's just been a great character actor for the duration of his career. And man, if we could get him an Oscar nomination before it's too late. I don't know how old he is, but I just know he's been around for a while, so it would be nice. It would be nice. For your consideration, the next time you see Will Patton, think about nominating him. Anyway, that's the audio description is great. It's very useful. I liked it. It's human. It's everything it needed to be. So give it a check. And Minari, not my favorite film of all time, but I thought it was really good. So I'm gonna give Minari an A-. I was pretty happy with it. I don't really have like a problem with it being a Best Picture nominee or anything like that. And I thought the acting was good. It just doesn't have that level of, oh my god, I need to see this film again. Oh my god, this film reached me on like another level. Oh, this is perfect and it touched me, and I'm I must make other people see this. It just doesn't have like that next level of, it just has this level of, that was a good film. I respect this film. I thought everybody did a good job. I don't really have any major complaints. Yeah. I guess as somebody who lived in that area, I kind of wanted to feel more of that area. I'm sure they shot it in Arkansas, which is weird. I don't know how many films are actually shot in Arkansas, but maybe they did. We're going to go with that. I'm going to assume they shot in Arkansas. But I did I was like, oh, this film is so close to where I used to live, where I grew up. So just bring a little bit more of that in there for me, please. But it's also set in a time period. They were talking about Reagan, and I was like, well, I didn't live there when Reagan was there, so I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and make sure to add Tubi to your list of things that have audio description. And check out some of those titles that are on the streaming service. It's almost July, so we're gonna flip over into July pretty quickly here. I don't know. I don't even know if Minari is gonna be there in July. I always do this. I have to review stuff at the end of the month too. I can't just like not review things because streaming services are going to change what they offer. So, I may God have mercy on Minari and keep it on Tubi for another month so that you can watch it. It could be gone. Could be gone tomorrow. I don't know. But that's it. I will review something else for you guys. You can check out my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at macthemovieguy. Check out the audio description project, adp.acb.org, where you can find out all of the things that have audio description and where you can watch them, including Tubi. There is a Tubi page on there now. We're tracking Tubi. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.